Hello YouTube, this is going to be a weapons cleaning video. This specific method I got from Bob Dunlap from AGI. This method can work for anything from knives to guns such as a Glock, an AK, or even do a howitzer such as a 777. What you're going to need is obviously the specific weapon that you're going to be cleaning. In my case it's going to be the Glock 19. You're also going to need this specific equipment to fully take apart your weapon system. Now this is obviously not going to be a field stripping. It's more of a thorough cleaning than that. You also need any specific cleaning equipment that you're going to need. What I have is a rod, some paper towels, mechanical paper towels, simple green, and just some lubrication that penetrates and it also prevents rust. Get started. You're going to want to make sure you have your weapon cleared. Alright, so I got my Glock 19 taken apart, and I have the slide on one side and the bottom receiver on the other. A couple things before we start. If you do not feel confident in yourself enough to take it down, then I suggest you continue with the field strip cleaning. I know manufacturers such as Glock ask that you do not take it down this part, but the way I see it is, if someone who is a Glock armor can do it, then so can you. You're a grown man or woman, so you will know if you are able to take it down this far or not. I also recommend that you find a space that you can clean it and not upset your spouse. Let's get started. All you do is you take your simple green, get everything out of the way. Now I'm going to turn on my fan so the chemical smell gets taken out. I recommend, if you do not like the smells or you don't want to get all the nasty chemicals in your lungs, that you wear a mask and you use your fan like I do. So I literally just take every piece and spray it down. Now if you have a towel or something you can use, you could probably do this a whole lot faster. I just don't want to get it all over my counter and have a big mess that I can clean up. When I do the barrel, I also do the inside. Spray the inside, spray the outside. Now, again, my Glock isn't that dirty, but if it was, what you want to allow happen is you want to let it sit for just a couple of minutes, and then take your brush of some sort and just gently clean off all the nasty stuff you have in your weapon. Now, you probably don't have to do the body, I just do it, because I figure if I'm going to clean it, I might as well clean all of it. Now, also another thing is, it doesn't really matter, it probably doesn't matter what cleaner you use, except for the fact that you use a cleaner that you like, something that works for you. And the same would be said about the lubricant. I suggest you get something that is rust resistant, but it doesn't matter what you use. I would use Break Free, but it's kind of hard to find for some reason. Not very many people sell it anymore, it doesn't seem like. Alright, so now that I have it all wet, like I said, if yours was really dirty, you just let it soak for a couple of minutes. Mine is not, however, so what I'm going to do is fill up my sink with hot water. Maybe I'll just get these couple of brushes. Make sure to get the bolt face, the striker face. A lot of people miss this area for some reason. It gets very dirty. Springs. Now when you're rinsing it off in the water, you can use maybe a little bit of Simple Green in the water or soapy water. I just like to rinse it with regular water. I figure the Simple Green is doing good enough by itself. Now I don't clean inside the barrel. I wait until afterwards to do that, to dry it out. And then I just drop it in the water. So you probably can't see it right now, but all I'm doing is placing each item in water to rinse it off. Sure your little tiny springs and tiny pieces aren't going to go down the drain. I would recommend that you use a bucket or something, that way you won't lose any of the pieces. I've done this before, so I know I won't lose any pieces. Alright, so let me dry my hands real quick and I'll show you. I literally have all the pieces just in some water, rinsing off. Okay, now while that's, just take your wet towels, maybe wipe off your counter if you have a mess. Oh, looks like I didn't use enough towels, but that's alright. Not too big of a mess. And put dry towels in place of them. Now I'm sure you guys will figure out a much better way of doing this. However, I'm okay with doing it this way, with the paper towels. You probably just have some old towel you don't use anymore that's still clean. That'll do it for you. And like I said, I like to keep the slide pieces with the slide, and the lower receiver with the lower receiver. That way I don't mix up any parts accidentally. Alright, now go to the bottom piece, just give it a good clean. Like I said, if there's certain parts that you don't want to do, obviously don't do it. If you don't even want to go this far, I just do a simple field strip, just do a normal cleaning. It's very rare that you'd have to do this far of a cleaning unless you're really anal about weapons being cleaned. And again, you can do this with knives or rifles, anything. As long as you feel that you are competent enough to take it fully apart and put it back together in the right manner. Drop your lower pieces in. Here we go. Rinse them off. Alright, take these dirty towels. Mess that time, and put your clean ones. Real quick before I start doing that though, just to show you again, there are all my pieces in water. Okay. Now, just rinse them off. Oh, wait. Let me finish my towels here. Now the way I'm doing it is kind of a waste of these towels, but I figure they're cheap enough. I'm good. Like I said, if you use a towel, throw something under it, it'd probably be a little bit more efficient. Okay, bam. Fire control system. And then what I'm going to do, after I get all these pieces out, I'm going to quickly dry everything off. Now when it comes to actually drying everything off, I do prefer using a towel, so that's what I'm going to do. Again, you use whatever means you desire. There's no really 100% way of doing this. I just feel that this cleans my weapon systems the best. Okay. Start taking my pieces, drying them off. Just a little proof that that's what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to dry off these pieces. When I'm finished, I'll have these on new towels yet again, and I will turn back on the camera and tell you what it is that I'm doing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and my setup is complete. So now what I'm going to do, what I'm using is some Knockers Loose penetrant. Again, the keywords for me were penetrating, penetrates into the metal, dissolves rust and corrosion, so if your weapon system already has it, but more importantly, lubricates, prevents rust. So I'm going to be using this. Again, I would use Break Free, but I couldn't find it. So now what I literally do is I just spray it. Get it all. Every crevice, just spray it up. Now this was only $6, so I don't think it'd be too hard getting another can. And this is my second cleaning, so it'll last a while. Again, have on a mask. I recommend you have on a mask. That's up to you. You're a grown man or woman. don't go crazy on me just yet, okay? Just let me finish getting all this lubricated and greased up here, and then I'll tell you what we're doing next. Just get these little pieces here. Okay, and that's the top half. Go to the bottom half. Now again, somebody's probably going crazy, but like I said, if you don't want to do the actual hand grip piece of it, you don't have to. You can just get the rails if you want. I just do it all. It doesn't matter, because I don't care. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, wash off my hands real quick, then I'm going to come over here and dry them. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let that sit for a minute or two. Now, after I let it sit for a minute or two, to let the lubricant penetrate the oil or the metals, is I'm gonna dry it all off. First I'm gonna do the barrel, take some of this here, put it on my pole, just wipe the inside with it, and then just dry all the rest of it. After you dried it, it's still gonna have some lubricant on it, so you'll be fine, and then you'll have every piece lubricated. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up the area back to where I first was, and we'll put it back together. See you soon. Okay, I have my Glock 19 back together. It is cleaned and lubricated. Now remember, this method that I'm using is not only for pistols. You can use it for knives, rifles, even tools if you needed to. Now, after wiping down all the lubricant that I sprayed on here, it did two things. If I missed any parts from spraying any metal, wiping it down would have spread it to that part. Also, it gets rid of the excess on there. Now, it looks dry, and it is, but it still has a lubricated feeling, a nice smooth feeling. When I put one in the chamber, smooth action all the way. The grip does not feel any more slick than what it did, so it didn't affect the grip at all. Now remember, you don't have to use Simple Green. You can use whatever cleaner that you prefer. You also don't have to use spraying lubricant. I used to use grease because that's the way James Yeager showed. People use oil. I'm sure there's just tons of ways to lubricate your weapon. However you prefer to do it, that's the way you should do it. I prefer this method because it cleans my weapon the best, and it lubricates everything and not just little portions of it. If you try it out, that's great. If you don't want to do it at all, then I suggest you don't. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great night.